Okay, hello everyone. So this will be our topic for today, which is the advanced database system. So before we move on with our discussion, um, let us have first these essential questions of like why take this course and bakit nga ba kasi 'di ba meron na kayong database management dati or the fundamentals of database, what is the discourse about, and who is of course yun yung mga some point of question na kailangan nating sagutin ngayong araw na to. First, what is the reason, or why is the reason why do we need to take this course? Number one is that, of course, with the use of utility. Alam kasi natin that with the use of the data processing backs essentially every application. Now, alam natin that the database is a form of or one another backmost application, meaning ito yung nagbibigay ng buhay sa ating pagkakaroon ng mga activities or sa 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 transaction ng isang company or isang organization. The principal thought in this course back nearly everything in computing and know how to manage data is a vital. That is a core asset in today's world. Since di ba napakadami, for every second counts, napakadami ng data na nagkakaroon ng na pumapasok sa isang company or sa isang organization. And knowing this data, knowing how to manage this data will play a vital role in a certain company kasi sooner or later magiging database manager kayo or database security officer. So with that, alam niyo how to handle this kind of data. And this material will also empower you as a computer scientist. Number two reason is that centrality. Data is the center of modern society. Of course, 'di ba sa lahat naman ng ating ginagawa, in everything that we do, in everything that we accomplished, ang data yung pinakang importante because it is the center. Kasi dito nagsisimula ang lahat. Dito um, nagkakaroon ng pagpoproseso. Now, with that, it is much cheaper to generate the data since nakacentralize siya. Since halimbawa from one company meron siyang um, um, ano tawag dito, meron siyang branch from other location. So napakadali na para sa kanya ang mag-access ng mga data na yun. And it is much cheaper to generate the data. We have the different kinds of sensors, the smart devices, the social networks, the online games, software logs, and audio and video. As you can see or as you can know, remember na kapag di ba halimbawa nag-apply ka for a certain credit card organization, magugulat ka na lang kasi nagkakaroon or may mga iba pang tumatawag sa iyo na mga company na nag-aalok ng credit card. So with that, ibig sabihin kasi yung data dahil nga na-generate ng ibang mga banking institution, madali na para sa kanila ang mag-access and of course yung pagpoproseso ay napaka um, cheaper din kasi meron na tayo ng mga tinatawag na cloud computing, the open source software, the heterogeneous na kailangang bayaran, hindi natin siya kailangang from time to time ay maglabas tayo ng pera. Kaya cheaper na rin yung pagpaprocess natin ng data. So how much data is generated every minute? Pansinin natin dito sa ating sa ating image na nandito sa on my left, si Amazon, there are 459K, which is yung sinasabi natin na shopper spend. Ito naman yung mga users send sa mga tweets. Kay Google, there are 6.3 searches happen in every minute. So, imagine mo yung data, yung laki ng data na hinahandle niya from time to time. Si WhatsApp, there are 41.6 million messages being sent to WhatsApp. Di ba, lahat naman kayo gumagamit ng WhatsApp. Ibig sabihin, isa kayo sa mga user na nagbibigay or nagsesend talaga ng messages gamit si WhatsApp. Si LinkedIn, there are 6,060 resumes that is being submitted by the users. Kung titingnan natin, ito si Instagram, there are 3,720 users who downloaded an Instagram thread. Now, what do I mean by this? Sa isang minuto, lahat ng ito ay ginagawa or lahat ng ito ay napaprocess gamit yung cloud computing, gamit yung ating mga databases. And imagine how this data is being handled with the different kinds of databases that was being drive or yung mga storage device na naka server. Of course, ginagamitan natin siya ng net. And tingnan natin ha, so sobrang dami nito sa isang minuto lang ito nagagawa or sa isang minuto, how much more kapag atin siyang na-compress for an hour, for a day, for a week, for a month. So imagine, napakalaki ng data na kinakailangan nating ma-i-process, na kinakailangan nating ma-i-store, at na kinakailangan nating ma-retrieve. Now, the scale of scientific data, which is from the Large Hadron Collider, tingnan natin ha. Ito yung raw data, which is 6 million gigabits per second. So, imagine niyo segundo ang pinag-uusapan natin dito. And the downloaded sample is 25 gig per seconds. Kung titingnan natin, siya ay 788 petabytes per year. And the downloaded sampled further is 1,050 megabits per second. So, napakabilis nung mga scientific data kung ating ini-scale talaga or ating tinitingnan talaga. Now, another thing is that the reason is the core of computing. After the data or the big data solves with the problems that we are encountering, will ride away on magic flying unicorn, which means the data growth will continue to outpace computation, meaning sa pagdami ng tao, sa pagdami ng mga gumagamit ng mga iba't ibang klase ng application, sa pagdami ng mga pagpoproseso o pinoproseso natin, more value is being conducted or more value is being needed. So there should be a system for managing data at scale and the core of modern computing. So these techniques will be learned by you in this course as we go through na on this of course on this subject, as we go along with this subject. No. So, what is the course about? Ano nga ba ang itong course na to? Ayan, napag-aralan natin dati or napag-aralan ninyo dati kung ano ang ibig sabihin ng database. It is a collection of organized data, which is of course interrelated, that model some aspects of the real world. They are the core component of most computer applications like banking, web and online mobile apps, the online retailers, the human resources, the anong tawag dito, the e-commerce and so much and so on and so forth. Um, dahil siya ay interrelated data, meaning to say, hindi tayo pwede na magkaroon ng data or let's say a collection of database na hindi sila related. Kasi nagkakaroon tayo ng tinatawag natin na biases. And of course, hindi lang bias, no? Parang kasi hindi na nga siya interrelated, pinagsasama pa rin natin. The reason why nagkaroon tayo ng tinatawag natin na this kind of database management system. And sometimes we are confused with the database management system. Yan, yun nga Kasi pag sinabi nating database management system, that is a collection of an application or a management system uh, na paggamit ng mga databases, or some other kind of databases. It is not the same as the database. Bakit? Kasi when we say database, ito ay kumbaga parang collection. So para siyang yung cabinet natin, yung organizer natin, yung refrigerator natin, which collects different kinds or which collects information in a container. So 'di ba, pag sinabing cabinet, kaya yun 'di ba, interrelated data. Yung cabinet natin na lalagyan ng damit. Of course, ano ang mga nakalagay doon? O may mga damit natin, mga short, mga t-shirt, mga panglabas, underwears, and all. Hindi siya, yung cabinet natin na lalagyan ng damit, hindi natin pinaglalagyan ng ating mga groceries kasi magkaiba sila. So, ibig sabihin nun, hindi sila interrelated. Yun yung database. Now, kapag database management system, these are the mga databases na ginagamit natin to process certain data. So what is DBMS or the Database Management System? That is a software that stores, manages, and facilitates access to databases. So some of the examples are ito yung Oracle, MySQL, o MySQL Server. MySQL, ito yung ginamit ninyo last time. SQLite and PostgreSQL. So napakadami ng mga database management system or mga software na pwede nating gamitin to store, to manage, and to facilitate access of databases. Traditionally, DBMS refer to relational databases. So, of course, this will be the focus of this course kasi magkakaroon tayo ng mga different kinds of SQL commands, the different kinds of ACID transactions that will prevent data loss. Lagi lang nating tatandaan, market and terms in rapid transition. So the technology remains roughly the same and good time to focus on the different fundamentals. So bakit nga ba kailangan natin gumamit ng DBMS? Of course, we have to consider one typical scenario. Kagaya halimbawa, create a database that models a university organization to keep track of students, instructors, and courses. With that, pwede nating di ba, yun ay pang organization. So, kinakailangan kung halimbawa, napakalaki na ng organization natin, kailangan na natin gumawa ng mga models for a university or for a certain organization para malaman kung ano ng progress ng bata, to also monitor the instructors and yung nangyayari sa course. So, that's one. Kaya kinakailangan natin ng isang DBMS. Number 2, build an application to support typical operations on the database. Halimbawa, mag-a-add ng students, ng instructors, ng courses, magre-register ng students for courses and generate class rosters. Assign grades to students, compute GPA, and generate transcripts. So those are some na kung bakit kailangan natin talaga ng DBMS. Consider this the flat file strawman. that is being stored in a database as command separated value or the CSV file. The CSV file is somewhat like yung mga sa Excel natin, ano yung Excel file natin. Same pa rin siya ng Excel, may rows and columns, ano yun yung pinakang table, pero siya ay naka CSV lang yung file, ano, instead of XLS. So in this case, mapapansin niyo that there is a table named instructor and there is a table named course with the field names name, department, and salary. And for the course, there is a field names name, instructor, and year. And it has data or value. Ano, for the name, meron siya si Jones, si Smith, and etc. So this is being saved as the instructor.csv, and this one is being saved as the course.csv. So the applications have to parse the file each time they want to read or update the record. Now, in this case, meron siya nung tinatawag natin na tight coupling between the application logic and the physical storage. So how it is being worked? It used the command for on how to get the names of all computer science instructors, just like this one, and that just like this example. Well, anyway, we'll go through with it as we go along um with the subject. Now, ano nga ba yung nagiging drawback kapag gumagamit tayo or gumagamit tayo ng flat file strawman? First, nagkakaroon siya ng data redundancy kasi wala kasi siya nung tinatawag natin na um, anong tawag dito, anong pinakang primary key. So, nagkakaroon ng duplication ng information in different files. Kasi yung kanyang pinakang, anong tawag dito, yung kanyang pinakang relationship ay hindi po ang tawag dito, hindi naka-merge or hindi naka-connect. Kaya nagkakaroon ng duplication of information. Aside from that, there is a storage format that needs to be exposed. Developers need to be aware of the physical layout of the data, and the data may be stored in various file formats such as the CSV, the JSON, the binary, and a lot more. Dahil nga siya ay naka CSV file, lahat ng format natin pwedeng ma-expose, pwedeng makita ng karamihan. Since para siyang isang file nga lang. So, or kapag siya ay ating dinownload, sometimes siya ay parang text file pero in a CSV file and expose yung ating lahat ng data. And ayaw nating kapag tayo ay isang database management officer, ayaw natin na na-expose yung mga data, lalo't higit kapag ito ay ating mga client. Difficulty in accessing the data. It needs to write a new program to carry out each new task, and there is a programming complex logic on several files that can be error prone and inefficient. Dahil nga siya parang isa lang siyang file na ituring, nagkakaroon siya ng mahirap i-access, unlike other databases na pwede nating i-utilize na yung pag-access napaka-bilis lamang para sa kanya. Aside from that is that the search is very expensive. Wala siyang indexes. I cannot find tuple with given key quickly kasi 'di ba yung mga table siya ay parang para siyang naka-text text base. So with that, yung yung mga table ay mahirap hanapin. And you have to read the entire file. Yun yung isa. Kaya sabi ay expensive yung pag-search. No atomicity of updates. There are failures that may leave database in inconsistent state with partial updates that is being carried out. Halimbawa, moving money between two accounts should either complete or not happen at all. So, napakahirap nung ganun. Kasi hindi siya hindi yung there is a what we call yung failure niya ay nandoon. Integrity problems, integrity constraint that become buried in program code, and it is hard to add new constraint or change existing ones. Another thing is that concurrent access by multiple users. Yan. So, pwede siyang access needed for performance, and uncontrolled concurrent access can lead to inconsistencies kasi di ba kapag hindi naman palaging isang beses lang natin siyang i-access. So kapag halimbawa at palagi natin siyang ina-access yung mga data by multiple users, halimbawa ako or the other teacher na kailangan mag access ng data ng in one or same time, it can lead to inconsistencies na. No security, hard to provide user to access to some but not all data, and storing data in raw CSV file is insecure kasi syempre sabi ko nga naka-file lang siya or file ang niya ang type niya, so hindi ganun siya ka-secure or hindi maganda yung security niya. No application programming interface. So, how can a prayer program access the data? Wala siyang mga interfaces eh. So, kasi nga, naka-CSV file lang siya. Parang text-based. So, hindi, hindi siya, walang interface na pwedeng pagkuhanan. So, these are the levels of abstraction for databases. So, we have the view level, the logical level, and the physical level. The view levels, okay, simplifies interaction with the database, hides information for security purposes. When we say the view level, these are the level wherein the users or the end users is being being see dun sa ating monitor, dun yung nakikita natin. The logical level describes the data that is stored in the database. And the physical level, on the other hand, describes how the data is being recorded and being stored in your database. And with it, nagkakaroon tayo ng data independence, which insulate users from changes in lower levels. We also have the data models, yung mga modeling techniques na ginamit ninyo before. Data model is a collection of concepts of describing the data in a database. So this is basically how data is being kunyari stored, ano-ano yung mga model. Marami tayong mga model na pwedeng gamitin. And I will be discussing that also as we go through with this course. The schema, these are the description of particular collection of data using a given model. And models in practice, which of course yung mga relational natin, yung ating mga keys, the key value, the graph, document, the array, hierarchical, and network. Remember that most DBMS implement the relational data model or yung tinatawag natin na anong tawag dito? Yung tinatawag natin na relationship. Yan. So, lahat ng data na ginagawa natin ay merong relationship. So, tingnan natin yung ranking ng DBMS technologies in 2024. So, number 1 yung Oracle kasi siya, bakit pinakamarami or bakit na number 1? So, yung ranking niya from January 2023 to 2024, number 1 pa rin siya. Kasi, mas madaling gamitin kasi may mga gumagamit ng mga Firebase, no? Hindi natin masyadong ini-require or hindi natin masyadong ginagamit yung mga Firebase kasi hindi siya ganun ka-flexible. Kasi ito si Oracle, bukod sa siya ang pinakamalaki yung kanyang ginagamit na storage, madali pa rin siyang madali din siyang ma-access yung relational niya, and there is a multi-model. It was followed by a MySQL, yun yung ginagamit ninyo, and Microsoft SQL Server. Okay, ganun din yung databases niya, mataas din, and relational and multi-model din siya. So titingnan natin, nagbabago lamang siya doon sa from number 7 to 13. Si Elasticsearch, nagtumaas siya, si IBM bumaba siya. Si Snowflake, tumaas siya, and sa Microsoft Access ay bumaba. Well, actually, si Microsoft Access kasi hindi ganun kalaki yung storage account niya, pagdating, and hindi rin siya ganun ka-flexible, syempre. Ito yung nakalagay or kasama dun sa ating mga Microsoft Office, Okay. So, these are the global database market. Kung titingnan natin, from 2012 to 2017, the enterprise database market to reach 155.50 billion by 2026 as a report and data. Uh, Pataas yung global market. So today, most probably kung siya ay by 2026 ay 155.50 billion yung kanyang projected data to reach most probably ngayon sa panahon ngayon dahil ngayon ay 2025, mga nasa 150 na billion ang ating global database market. Now, what is this course about? Of course, there is a big ideas in database management system, which the principles of data independence, the declarative programming and isolation, consistency. There is also a core algorithms which forms in the search, optimization, evaluation, and concurrency. There is also a system designs on how to compose components into a technological stack. The heart of scalable computer system and the many of the details technologies will change in the future. So, kinakailangan natin maging prepared to generalize from what you learn here and keep learning new things. We also need to design and implement of disk-oriented database management system, which is yun nga yung storage and file structure natin, yung mga different kinds of indexing techniques natin, the query evaluation in the form of theory and practice, the query optimization, transaction management, and distributed parallel system. So as you can see dito sa ating image, there is a web forms, the applications, and SQL interfaces, which is being done by the SQL commands. So, ito mga applications natin that can be interact with the users. It is in a form of SQL commands that execute, that parse, then operate and optimize. There is also dun sa yung nangyayari sa loob niya, yung file and access method, the buffer manager, and the disk space manager. And of yung lahat ng yan ay nangyayari at nai-store natin dun sa ating database files, indexes, yung sa database natin. So this will be the learning outcomes, the gains and insights into how DBMS functions internally. Learn data management techniques that can help you, the future scientists, to transform data into knowledge and build new DBMS technologies. We have to distinguish the hard versus easy in query evaluation and learn the fundamental concepts used in the CS and beyond. Okay, so those are some of the few um, that can be done in this course. Moving on with the database system concepts. These are the outlines, the need for databases, the data models, the relational databases, the database design, and so on. So, as we all know, kapag sinabi nating database management system, as I said kanina, it contains information about particular enterprise. Meaning, it has a collection of interrelated data, which is in a set of programs to access the data. Of course, These could be the different kinds of software that you use for you to be able to store data, retrieve data, and process data. It is also an environment uh, that both convenient and efficient to use.